Hello everyone, and if you did not know, I have a main channel called The Real Super Sam, and on there, I've been requested or just asked to see what kind of stories I would tell or want to see in comic books, and I decided to make a full video about it, all these little ideas I have. Maybe someday I'll go into more detail about them, and let's just get started. So, I'm going to have two little side missions of my ideas that could be in a future LEGO video game. The first one, and I'm thinking of LEGO Marvel Superheroes 3. The first one is to have Mysterio use Spencer Smythe's Spider Slayers that he steals from him. A way to get a LEGO Spider Slayer as a playable character in a LEGO Marvel game. And Mysterio has always been in a side mission to unlock him in the last two games, so why not the third one? Next is a fun one, I think. The Forgotten Spider-Man Rogue Slide versus the Eel. They both have the same powers, leading to a reason they would fight each other in the LEGO land of the video games. And we haven't had either of them as a playable character in the game yet. This story could fit in anything, but a different Mole Man, I think, would work. One who is like a street pastor, and that's how he gets minions and support in his above-ground activities. Maybe the story could side focus on people being ostracized from society and strike out against the world, and people who become ostracized and use it constructively. Another story is Chameleon disguising himself as Uncle Ben for treasure, kind of like the goal Mysterio had in Amazing Spider-Man issue 200, reference to that, and callbacks to, of course, issue 1 in Amazing Fantasy issue 15. Another one, which I think is, pretty much set up. I don't think it's been done as well though, with Brainiac going after Larfleeze to get his Orange Lantern ring, or just one of them. Another one, again, has to do with the Chameleon, and it has it with his plan having multiple people dressed up as Spider-Man and him to commit crimes. Kind of like Batman 1966 episode 7, where Mr. Freeze and multiple Mr. Freezes and multiple Batmans all dressed up to create chaos. Have the Chameleon do that with Spider-Man. Another one which I'm surprised and really disappointed they did not do in the 2018 Spider-Man video game, because Electro was he was not a side mission in that game. He was just there for 3 missions. I think just 3 missions if you count the boss fight as one. And I thought they were going to have 616 Electro, and his goal is to be pure energy, so why not actually have that happen, have an experiment happen, or some sort of formula he drinks, and he becomes Blue Ultimate Electro, and he's way more powerful, and he actually gets his wish. I think that would be awesome. You get Classic Electro and Ultimate Electro in the same story. I know it's almost exactly like Ultimate Spider-Man Season 2, Episode 2, but I think doing it in a video game would be really fun. Parasite. Have Parasite be partnered with Mongol and take on the Justice League. And the thing is, Parasite would be used to steal the Justice League's thoughts and powers and make him, super strong, super unbeatable. I really think we'd like to see Parasite, bumped up to an A-list DC full rounded rogue. Cause, well, 1, he's my favorite Superman villain, and 2, I know a lot of people know him, but outside of comic book readers, I think he's forgotten. I have an idea for a what-if story. It's very simple. What if Clayface 1 kept every one of the other Clayface's powers, like the melting ability and shape-changing, copying of powers, like the ending of the Mud Pack story, where Clayface has Clayface 3's powers, where he can melt people, and Clayface 4 powers, where he can transform into that, a person and have their same powers, like Lady Clayface. It only happened, I'm 99.9% positive, he only had that power, all those powers, at the end of the Mud Pack story, and then for some reason he just didn't have it. Okay then. So a what if of him actually keeping those powers and being super powerful. Oh, that'd be great. So a weird thought is have a DC hero fight Calendar Man or someone, and that villain has a thug, and the hero just used to know that thug from a previous time in life. I don't know, maybe that could lead to an interesting story to do. I just chose Calendar Man for a random villain, but it could be anyone. Another one is very simple. Some Bat family member, maybe it's the start of an entire series. It's an entire series. This is the status quo. I don't know how to exactly lay it out well, but just off the top of my head, some member of the Bat family is tricked into thinking the rest of the Bat family died, and that's how it goes through how they deal with it for an entire series. Another short one is a hero accidentally injuring someone while fighting thugs, and that's why they decide to stop being a vigilante. I know, very short, not really well thought out, but just a thought. Maybe it's happened before, but I can't really remember it. I'm kind of thinking it tying in or being some sort of reflection of the Scourge of the Underworld and the second Marvel superhero ever, the Angel from the 40s or 30s. I think it was the 30s actually. No, it had to be the 40s. Anyway, and how he decided to stop being a vigilante after he hurt someone, and he started up the Scourge of the Underworld. It could be some sort of reflection of that in a more positive way, I guess. Maybe now, Amazing Spider-Man is over 950 issues, and I think for Amazing Spider-Man issue 1000, they could do a really cool mythos story. Because, I mean, 1,000 issues, you're going to look back at the past of Spider-Man for his 60 plus years of history. I think it would be great to have a story where it's shown why Spider-Man does not have a sidekick yet, does not really work with other heroes that well, or at least I don't think he does. And, has examples from the Marvel Team Up series and other moments where it's just ridiculous and bad things happen and whatnot sometimes. And again, this is one I could really go into depth with, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Really fast, a Superman movie with the villains being Bizarro, Titano, and Lex Luthor, and the theme would be these supervillains doing bad things, but they're not trying to do bad things. It's just sort of unfortunate, a mistake, a accident. They're doing bad things, and Bizarro, Titano, and Lex Luthor are great examples of it. Had them all in the movie. Had that be the theme. Another one, which I'm pretty sure I want to go into in the future in another video, is a Spider-Man movie with Electro and Boomerang as the main villains. Again, I think Electro was perfect for the big screen. I didn't really care for Amazing Spider-Man 2's ultimate version of Electro. I didn't really use it that well, I think, except for the two big scenes with him. Another one, how many times has someone said this? A Batman movie with Killer Croc. Either like in his Villains Month solo issue, or maybe have Killer Croc in like the Batman Earth 1 version, but have him just be like a villain in the movie, not a main villain. Again, this is one I'll go into someday. Another is just a comic story where mini heroes get shrunk, or maybe there's some sort of miniature superhero team with Ant-Man, where smaller heroes fight the Juggernaut. How could they beat the Juggernaut? I don't know. I'm thinking of the comic cover being an homage to Fantastic Four issue 1. And Juggernaut is working with someone else who is like a replacement for Black Tom Cassidy. And of course, we really need an X-Men movie that explores Professor X and Juggernaut's relationship. Again, maybe this has happened in an alternate universe, or some sort of, another person has brought this up as an idea. Maybe this is another idea I want to go into. But a Captain America movie where he awakens in the 21st century, and the first person he becomes friends with is a villain in the future, and he gets betrayed by that villain. An Iron Man movie, a new sort of Iron Man series movies, where Blizzard is the main villain of the first movie, and then the second Iron Man movie is a full-on Armor Wars type thing. Again, I will go into this some other day. A Daredevil movie, quote-unquote, but it's a Bullseye solo movie, and Stiltman is also in it. Again, this is one I will go into someday. A Man-Wolf solo movie with John Jameson is on a task force and he's going after someone. I forget what the story was, but I know there was one where he was on a task force and he went after Carnage. So I think if they want to do a Man-Wolf movie, I mean, this is just the perfect way to do it. And those are all my comic thoughts of stories right now off the top of my head that I can say really fast, because there is some more with the Scarecrow. I have an idea for a Scarecrow solo movie, and I think two others that I'll go in depth with. So anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day.